some of our videos might not be for you, but most of our videos are geared towards people who are new or thinking about getting into the sport. We don't do any of that crazy hill climbs, things that cause our machine to break and cost a lot of money. We do regular trail riding. So if you know anyone that's interested in getting into side-by-side riding or just wants to see regular trail rides, please like, share, subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Now, let's get on with the video. And we're back again with the 950 Sport. So some people were asking, what was I doing with this thing in here, having to put some stuff on it? As you can see, the whip lights are on it. The flags come off. They were just on there from where we ordered it from. We put the toolbox on the back. That is a tongue. That's a trailer tongue box, whatever. You can get them at Lowe's. I wouldn't suggest going to a trailer place because they're going to charge you an arm and a leg for them. So both of these are actually detachable. There's a little collar right here. You pop the collar, take that ring off, boom. They come right off. So you don't have to use them. Basically, we use these at night when you're up in the mountains, in case people come up behind you, if you're in overgrowth, things like that. Also, hooked up the light bar. That light bar is not hooked up yet with brake lights and turn signals, but it does have the warning lights on it. And then we put in that little box right here. So this box basically is your junction to where everything goes into. So basically anything that you hook up from here on out goes into that box. So we had to run a trigger wire for it. So we had to put this switch in here, which meant all this had to come out. Both seats had to come out. The center console had to come out. I had to take the ECU out behind the seat to be able to put my arm in there to run the wires back and forth. Also had to take all this out, run the wire all the way up in casing, come up through here. And this is where the power supply for the control box in the machine. This is the ground. And this is the power and ground for the switch. So basically when you flip that switch on the dashboard, that sends power to the power unit to let it activate. So right now that power unit only powers two things because the winch has its own. So basically what you do is you can come in here, turn on your master power there. Now up here is your control panel. This here will turn on the whips, and then this here will turn on the light bar. So all of that is controlled. As you can see, these light up. They light up different colors, flash, whatever. We leave them on steady. And then, of course, you have the light bar in the back. Basically, people have asked, what is the big deal about a light bar? I did not want a light bar in the rear because I thought it was going to be super distracting. During the day and in dusty conditions, when people can't see you, they will see those lights. Now, these whip lights, pretty much at night when you're going up and down the hills, that'll help out a lot. Now, when you want to turn all this off, all you have to do is you can come up here and you can turn each individual one off, or you can flip this switch down here and it will kill the power to the whole thing. So that was pretty much what I did there. Then we got into installing this box. So here, if I can get the sucker open. So let's flip this around. Down here in the corner, put a bolt, and then I've got two bolts up front. So basically what I did was I took those bolts and just went straight through the bed on both sides. So I came down and they have neoprene wash nuts on there. I did the same thing back here. so I can actually get to it when I need to take the box off. That way it's not like actually like permanent. So we'll be able to keep our chainsaw in there and everything else. There's enough space back here where we can put the fire extinguisher, make it so it's accessible either from both sides, or put 2 small fire extinguishers on here. Because we do carry a chainsaw, numerous amounts of tools, snatch blocks, things like that. So that's about it. That's what was going on for the past few days in Amy's room. I got to get it out of here because it's kind of in the way. But I just wanted everybody to see that's what it is. So if you have any questions, comments, put them below. If you would have done anything any different, let me know. I am not a fabricator or into all this electronics crap. It's not for me. So getting the machine ready. It's pouring down rain right now, so I'm definitely not taking it outside, but we're pretty much buttoned up. I got to do some vacuuming, get some of the shavings off. Other than that, that's it. I will upload the full build video on YouTube, and we'll go from there. But until then, that's it.
All right, so after we finished this build, putting all this together, we ended up getting wheels and tires. We ended up getting Sedonas with bead locks. They're 30-inch tires, which are a little bigger. We had 27s. So that was also in this build. Now we're going to get into what it took to get that build put together.
Okay, so today we're going to be, we're doing multiple things right now, but what we are doing is putting on whips, the light sticks that go on the back, because we are headed to Windrock. We'll talk about that later, but we have a back windshield, so this is where you're, okay, so we have a rough country whips that come with this big beefy bracket that actually holds the light. So this has to go here, and the problem is we have to push this windshield back. So the parts that come with the windshield, they come with this here, which is not long enough. So I had to go to Lowe's and get something that is longer, not by much, but it is longer, and hopefully that'll work. So when we took the windshield off, I took the brackets off, which will then give you access to your air filter. We did take the air filter out. We cleaned the air filter. So we're going to put the air filter back in, because while you're here, you might as well do this, because the air filter is not super accessible when you have a back windshield. So we're going to just put, we're going to put this on. You can see how the windshield just pushes out. Makes it a lot easier to do this. Right there. Clamps on. All right. So we got the air filter cover back on here, and then we're going to take the cover. It slides up in here, and you've got the 2 tabs that go in. So you pull this side out. So what we did was we took this bolt out, this bolt. We loosened the bolt on this side, on the passenger side, so we can get this out enough, and then that snaps right back into place. So now we're ready to put our whip bracket on here. So the nuts are sunk in to here. And we're gonna put this bracket right there. Take this. So we are heading to Windrock. Oh, that's not good. So we're heading to Windrock, and in Tennessee you can ride the trails at night. So we at least wanted to get the whip lights in case we are going to use them. There probably are times that, I don't know, might not use them. I don't know. I'm not a big light person. That's a rock. It's not even what I'm looking for. Oh, so if you're wondering where I'm at, I'm actually in Amy's embroidery store. Like, I'm actually in her office. Yeah, she's not here right now, so yeah, we won't talk about that. But I actually put ramps outside to get this thing in. Really nice floors. Yeah, we won't talk too much about that. Now I've got to look for this. Oh. Gotta look for this nut. Okay, so I had to go get another nut because it has fallen into the abyss of I don't know what. You know, I figured by being in this room that if I was to drop anything, like I knew I would, it would hit this very nice vinyl floor. Or whatever this floor is. But guess what? The machine ate it on its way down. So now I've got another nut. Make sure. There we go. Sorry. The nut actually fits inside this bracket, so you don't have to hold it outside it. The other side of this is Allen key. So you're going to need an Allen key for the back side. Now, on the 950 Sports, at least this one's a 23. I'm putting it so it stops on its own. If there's actually a lip here where it actually wants to sit. So I'm going to tighten this side here. And it's not working. Oh. This is a real pain in the ass. Are you probably going to see out like in reality? That's not the problem. The problem is, I can't get anything I need to do. Alright, so that seems to be it right there. Make sure it's lined up. Now, hopefully, I'm going to be able to take this bracket here and be able to put this bracket on. The problem is this back windshield is not going to come in as far as it's supposed to. So that was the purpose in buying these longer ones, so we can actually, hopefully, get that to fit. So, what I'm actually going to do is pull this seat forward, I guess, or maybe, yeah, I'm just going to pull it forward so I can get to these a little bit better. Okay, so after an hour of whatever, we finally got this tight. So what we want to do is we're going to take this bracket and we're going to position it so the whip is backwards. So we don't want it straight up and down. We want it to the back as far far as possible, I guess. But anyway, so we're going to Windrock, and it's going to be pretty much the first time that we're actually going to Windrock. So hopefully it'll be pretty good. All right, so this is pretty much where we want it to be. So we're going to tighten this bracket down here. Now this has some real rigid, rough teeth in there. Should definitely hold. That in there. All right. So we've got that fastened there. This is our plug here. And then what we'll do is we'll get it wired up. Here, this is your plug. So it has a twist plug, goes into the pigtail. And then, because this is higher than the side-by-side itself, you just take this collar, pull it up, and the whole thing pulls off. So, still keeps your bracket right here. You're good to go. Now we're going to work on getting this bolt back in, because this is what you're going to have to do if this is the type of rear windshield. So just use your regular stuff that it comes with. This will still fit on. This will go through here. Hopefully, yep, it'll work. Now, if you're using the Super ATV one, the nut is a 10mm nut, so that is a real pain in the butt to figure out. So on the Super ATV rear windshield, you're looking at that much of a difference in length. Otherwise, it will not reach at all. It's not going to work. So we're going to do the same thing up here. There are some things that you do need to plan ahead for, such as cleaning the air filter. Make sure you take it out, because that's something you don't just leave it in there. So here we go. Here's where the connector is. Then you just take your whip, pull the collar up, collar slides into place, and there you go. So we're going to duplicate this on the other side, and then it's time to run the wiring to the switch, and then the power up to the front.
So this is where we're going to end part 1. In part 2, Wednesday, which will be in a few days, we're going to be going over the electronics that we did, the wiring, and the toolbox. So join us on Wednesday. We're going to continue this. It'll be part 2. Until then, we will see you on the next video.